Hey guys, welcome in for a surprise episode release of Theo's Coffee Break podcast. I was working on next week Monday's episode and I realized actually right now would be a really great time to hear this. So essentially what we're going to be talking about today is my take on bullies. We're going to be talking about karma, and we're also going to be uh, addressing something that it's kind of hard to talk about. What it's like to feel like no one's hearing you or seeing you correctly, and in some ways being ostracized. So we're gonna be jumping into that right here. Now, before I lose you, and you're like, oh my gosh, Theo is on another one of his, negative talks. This is actually a very positive one because I'm noticing a lot of people talking about what's happening here in America, and that people are kind of being attacked for being silent and being told that they're being complicit, when I think that it's pretty hard to talk about these things, and I want to offer my perspective in a positive and uplifting way, a way that we can build each other up. I don't think that we really should be tearing anyone down at this time. I really want us to find solidarity and unity and understand that now it's not just affecting us Americans, it's affecting people all around the world. And when we're saying that we're all in the same boat, in a lot of ways, if we look for what's the similarities here and not the differences, that there's a lot of truth to that. So if you're finding this video, feel free to look up Theo's Coffee Break podcast. Essentially, I haven't really settled on a title yet, but it's going to be like keep going and I will not be silent. Or you can't silence me. It's going to be something like that. So look that up, join us for the conversation here, and know that it's going to be a very positive one, a very uplifting one, and one full of hope. That is another thing that I really, really, really think that we need at this time, is to know that we're not alone. Okay? We are not alone, and the fight is not over, and that the good guys in the end will win. So look it up, Theo's Coffee Break podcast, and I will see you here in this surprise episode. Okay, getting my light turned off. Now that it's just you and me, let's take a deep breath together. Oh my gosh. What crazy times that we are living in right now, especially as an American. And, but it's really, I really want to emphasize on the fact that it's not just us anymore. It's affecting people all over. So when I was working on this week's episode, which is now today's, I was really trying to think about everybody here, and also about my personal experiences of dealing with a bully. And so I want to quick say this thought that just came into my head that I didn't write down about bullies. The best thing that we can do with bullies is not meet them with anger, because that's what they want. Anyone who has been the victim of bullying knows that they want you to get right down with them. Get right down there with them. And essentially what they're looking for here is conflict, okay? And it doesn't matter how they're getting the conflict, as long as conflict is there and you're willing to meet them there. You're giving them what they want. So, excuse me. So how can we work through that? Because a lot of times I see people try to find a way around it, or to ignore it, or go above it or below it. And I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, there must be a way to meet them right where they're at, but not given to anger. Okay? Because when you fight fire with fire, it you're gonna get something out you're gonna get something out of it, right? You're gonna get something out of it. But I don't think that you're going it's not worth it, in my opinion. Okay? Because then nobody wins. And so as I was sitting with this message and just sitting with this thought, I immediately thought of the fruits of the spirit. Um One that we don't talk about often enough is self-control. And a lot of times when we're looking at trying how to control a situation, we're focusing on the external of it, addressing it, which is very important, by the way. You got to do this. You have to observe, you got to step back, and you got to make sure that you're seeing the big picture. You got to make sure that you're seeing everything in full. But as I have been growing more in leadership and growing more into who I am as a 33-year-old adult man, in looking at the ways of the world, what I'm seeing here is a lack of kindness. Okay? And what I mean by that is when we talk about kindness, a lot of people think of that as turning the other cheek. And I don't believe that's what kindness is. I really don't. Because when you turn the other cheek, yeah, the conflict might simmer down a bit, but it's not going to go away. And you, in turn, might be enabling the situation, enabling the dysfunction of it all. I think that we got to meet people right where they're at. And with the fruits of the Spirit, with kindness, with self-control, with compassion, and understand that where this is coming from, where this ugliness is coming from, is a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, deep-seated pain that person isn't willing to address. They're not willing to look at that part of themselves, and they're not willing to heal that, because this is coming from somebody who has a past of being an angry person. I haven't always been the greatest person, and I am willing to admit that. And I used to walk around with a big chip on my shoulder. And for a long time, I thought that I needed that to keep going. That if I lost that, then I wouldn't have purpose anymore. That I would lose my drive, that I would lose my ambition, that I would lose the willpower to keep on going. That I needed that because it gave me a reason, it gave me a story, and it became so deeply integrated within me that I didn't realize that I was becoming the very thing that I despised the most. And so, as I was really, really excited to record this and sit down here, and I was coming in the studio really excited to lay this down and talk about this message, I I came into a roadblock. I have worked in this studio many times, and on the one day when I really, really needed this to work out and for everything to run smoothly, it didn't happen. I couldn't get the microphone to work, and it wasn't until just recently my boyfriend got home from work and he came down, and it was the most simple solution. There was a switch on the back of the DAW that that I didn't see, that I didn't know was there, and I had to turn it on. And it was funny. While he was at work, he tried FaceTiming me. We tried figuring it out over the phone, and we couldn't figure it out. He gets home, and it's the most simplest silly thing. Uh, and that's kind of, and as I'm sitting here now, because I'm adding more to this, I'm gonna get into hang with me here just for a second. Um, I think that's what it's coming down to, is that we're trying to meet fire with fire. And I know that it is much bigger than this. But I think that if we recognize that the change that we're really looking for here, that it really does start from within, it's not an external thing. It's from within. And we start seeing things this way. We start looking for how we are the same and how we are not different, that we're going to get more clarity and understanding surrounding why there is so much conflict happening right now. And with that understanding, we can start doing something about it in our own lives, in the lives of the people that are around us, around the people that are willing to listen to us. There is so much power behind having a voice. There is so much power behind saying something, especially if it's coming from the heart, if it's coming from a place that is either has clarity or is seeking clarity. It's good to ask questions. Bullies don't like questions, okay? They don't like being questioned at all. But if we start asking questions and just meeting it head on, not being afraid of confrontation because we know that we're coming from a good place, we're going to get somewhere. We're going to get somewhere with this, okay? Us good people, this is not a time to be discouraged. In fact, this is a time that we need to be empowered. We need to stand together, and we need to set the precedent. Because in the end, the bad guys always lose, okay? So I'm going to insert a clip here, because here's the thing. I didn't let that stop me. That's right. I didn't let this roadblock stop me. I immediately whipped out my phone, opened up my voice memos app, and I started recording the message because I didn't want to lose the inspiration here. And so I'm going to put that in right now. Feel free to listen. As I will be talking about my own personal experiences as, oh my God, I can't say that word right now. All right. I'm going to be talking about my own personal experiences and what I have been going through as a small business owner with Shin Yong Music Enterprise and with Theo's Coffee Break podcast. I did say it in this voice note. I am going to say it again right here. This is not a hobby for me. This is a way that I make a living. Okay. I have been registered as a small business with the state of Michigan since 2019. I believe that it was March 12th of 2019 since I've been an established business. And I have dealt with a lot of roadblocks. I've dealt with a lot of attacks, and I'm still standing, and I'm not going anywhere. That's the other thing too. We got to keep going. And this is why I will not be silent, and I cannot be silenced, because I, as a good person with good intentions, know that there are other people out there who are good people with good intentions that are extremely discouraged at this time, feeling very hopeless, feeling a lot of grief and a lot of heartbreak for what is happening in our world right now as it is affecting their lives, their ways of making a living, their home. So please listen, and I'll meet you at the end of it. Hey guys, so I was trying to record my podcast episode because I had a really great idea here, but I clicked on something and I don't know how to fix it. And so before I lose my idea and I go back in and try to figure out what I did, it hit me that the exact thing that I wanted to talk about was happening to me right now. And that is, sometimes you just gotta figure it out and do it your way. There are gonna be moments in your life where everything seemed like laid out and perfect. Like this is it. The right people are lined up, the stars are aligning, the money is there, and then suddenly it all gets taken from you. And you ask yourself, why? Because life doesn't stop happening, okay? So, talking about my small business, Shin Yong Music Enterprise, and talking about my podcast, Theo's Coffee Break Podcast, both registered under the state of Michigan. I think that some people think that this is a hobby for me. It's not. This is actually the way that I make a living. Okay, this is the way that I make the money to be able to support myself, support my business, and it's legit. You can look it up. Go on Lara, go look under the state of Michigan. And I've been established since 2019. And in all of those years, man, have I just taken hit after hit after hit after hit. And I'm not bitter. I don't want to come off as bitter, but there are a lot of people who really do not want me to use my voice. You would have to talk to them as to why they don't want me to use my voice, why they don't want me to speak, why they don't want me to sing, why they are pretty much ostracizing me, isolating me, coming up against me in very deceptive ways. And the next question might be, well, why didn't you challenge it? Why didn't you do something about it? If you knew that this was happening, why didn't you? Because it's not in my nature. Karma is real, all right? And this isn't woo-woo spiritual, like, oh yeah, the big man from the sky is going to come on down and he's going to show you who's boss. No. I strongly believe that if you do good things will happen to you. If you do bad things will happen to you. And it's not going to happen in the ways that you think it's going to happen. It's kind of like you got to let the water boil down and see what's left. And I also believe in compounding effects. Like, if you do authentically good things, not performative, okay? We're not talking about the performative people out here that go to church on Sunday just to say that they believe in God, but then Monday through Saturday, they're, being just, betraying their own beliefs. I'm okay, you get what I'm saying, though. You get what I'm saying. So that's why I didn't do anything. That's why I didn't challenge it. That's why I didn't let life stop me from pursuing what I know what was meant for me. And I know what is meant for me is to use my voice, okay? Even though that there are a lot of reasons, very logical reasons, by the way, like realistic reasons why I shouldn't use my voice. I couldn't help but notice that that was happening because what I have to say is important to hear. I'm also a strong believer in not forcing people to listen to me, okay? I have learned the hard way, time and time again, that I can talk until I'm blue in the face. I can talk until the cows come home. I can speak on my lived experiences, and it's not going to change anything, okay? At the end of the day, bad people will get away with doing bad things. But that shouldn't discourage good people from doing good things. I know that one day, karma will do its thing. And it's not because I believe in God. It's not because I have faith in the matter. It's because what goes around does come around. And that's a very diluted way to explain karma. What goes around comes around. If I was just to take it a little bit further, in case I'm losing people here, because I have a feeling that I am, true colors. A person's true colors will always reveal themselves when it matters the most. But that doesn't guarantee that justice will still be served. Okay? Because maybe when that person reveals their true colors, and let's say they're the villain, let's say that they're the bad guy here, they're the one who has just been making people miserable, making people lose out on opportunities that are meant for them or whatever. Maybe when that person shows their true colors, they found their tribe. They found other people that are like, yeah, I'm gonna do it too. I finally found my person. I finally found my group. I found my group of people. And we can just raise hell on everybody. Because that's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. There's a lot of people, a lot of very angry people, and they're finding their tribe. And they now have community, and they now have power. And that might be what the world needs right now. A lot of people, even a lot of good people, they want to see it all burn down. They want to burn it to the ground. And this is how it's got to be done. And then there's people like me sitting in the back being like, that's not the way. That's not the way. But you know what? It's getting done. At least they're doing something about it. At least they're accomplishing something about it. And so all of this to say is sometimes you just gotta figure it out. It might not be what you want. You might have one shit option, and then you have a shittier option, and then you have like, well, that option's kind of like in between shit and shittier. Sorry for swearing. But that's where we're at right now in life, okay? That's where we're all at. We're all in the same boat. And you just gotta deal with it. You just gotta deal with it. I have to say, I haven't been... Man, it's like I'm getting kicked while I'm down right now. And I've been down. Throughout my entire life, I have lost count at how many times I have been beaten to a pulp and kicked while I'm down. And even still broken, I have still had to find a way. And I always did. I remember there was one person who said, you're like a cockroach. You just can't stay down, will ya? You just can't. And I've also had people say how they admire my resilience and how I still find a way to keep going. I don't wish my life on anybody, and it has become obvious to me that a lot of these jealous and envious people that I come across are very disillusioned to what they're asking for. Because I have lived a life of heartache and grief and pain that is not human. It's very inhumane and cruel kind of pain. And for people who've known me, especially from my past, I had a big chip on my shoulder. And I wasn't exactly the nicest person because of the hurt, the betrayal that I felt, not just within myself, but from those around me. There was a lot of reasons to justify why I felt the way that I felt. And I just wanted to be seen. I just wanted somebody to take me seriously. I just wanted someone to say, hey, I see you. And I don't know. I would hope that the people who helped me actually meant it, even though I think that that was not the case. I don't think they really meant it. But, and if they did, then I'm glad that I'm wrong, but it doesn't matter. I can't focus on the past. And that's the other thing too. Sometimes you just got to do it with a broken heart. You got to keep moving forward. You can't keep ruminating on it. You can't keep thinking about it. You can't keep trying to rationalize it, because there are things that people do that are just not rational. There is nothing that can explain why some people do what they do. I mean, look at the Epstein files. Look at ICE. Look at what the Trump administration is doing. And there are still people that support these things. There are still people that are allowing these things to happen. They must see a bigger picture that we don't. However, it comes back around to us good people. We can't let this discourage us. We can't stop doing good things. We can't stop seeing the good in the world that is around us. There might be a lot happening, but we can fight back. And so I want to say to all the people who have tried to silence me, to all the people who have tried to keep me off the stage, to all the people who tried to block opportunities for me, I hope you can see now that I'm not going anywhere. And I'm no longer hung up on the idea of perfect and, what's the right way to go about things, because at the end of the day, I'm still getting it done. Yeah, I hope you heard that. I'm still getting it done. I'm still figuring it out. And that's probably why you're sitting there scratching your head or huffing and puffing and just be like, he just won't shut up. Yeah, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop because I'm not confused anymore. And the clarity that I finally have found in this moment surrounding my purpose is, if you really want it, you'll figure it out. If you really want it, you'll figure it out. However, if there are bad intentions behind what you're trying to do, you will fail. You might win the battle, but you will not win the war, because the good guys always beat the bad guys. We see it in every story. We see it in every Disney movie. We see it in every Marvel or, superhero thing. It doesn't matter how much trials and tribulation and loss the hero goes through. They always beat the bad guys, and it's because, I'll say it one more time, if you have bad intentions behind what you're doing, you will always lose in the end. All right. That's all I have to say for now. I'm going to include this in the episode once I get the mic thing figured out. I don't know what I clicked on, and I don't know why that happened. I've been using that studio time and time again, and the one time that, everything happens for a reason, right? Everything happens for a reason. And here's me making sure that I get my idea recorded before I lose it, because this is clarity. This is clarity. And now I know nothing is going to stop me, because I will never let anything or anyone, not even myself, get in the way of what I want. And that is to remind people, especially the good ones, keep doing good things. Keep meeting anger with compassion. Trust in the process, because we will win this thing. So hey, thank you so much for staying with me to the very end of this. I don't want to keep you too much longer. I want to leave you with this famous warning from Martin Luther King Jr. And this warning is, we must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. I have been saying something pretty similar, especially as of recent over the past few months, which is, we got to learn how to coexist with our differences. It's because of that's how we grow together. And this is why friendship and collaboration is so important. The person that is the loudest person in the room, while they are okay with standing alone, you have to ask yourself, are they willing to work with others? Are they willing to see things from a different perspective? Are they willing to find ways to grow together? Or is it their way or the highway? Those kind of people, they do get stuff done. And I am not discrediting that. And there are some people out there who have accomplished amazing things that are praiseworthy. However, at this time, we cannot sacrifice our humanity for one person or even one administration or one group's personal opinion, especially if it is rooted in bad intentions. If their sole cause is to tear others down just to lift themselves up. So a lot of this is food for thought, but I really, really want this to be an encouraging and positive message that there is so much more power behind building each other up and growing together, building community. And if it's not that, let's start with ourselves. Let's start with just you and me, and finding a way to trust our voice, trust our decisions, and know that in time, as long as we good people keep doing good things, and those good things are coming from a place with good intention, we will rise, and justice will always be served. So, with that, the last thing that I want to say, hold on, stay with me just for one more second. I just thought of this, and I want to share this with you because this is also something that I think is really important to tie up the end of this. Where is it? Yes. The other day I was journaling, so this is in my journal. The truth does not punish anyone, nor should that be the intention in telling the truth. However, the truth will reveal the consequences of one's actions, choices, and decisions made in bad judgment, and restore balance in an unfair situation and or circumstance. Knowing this is not meant to instill fear, but for you and or anyone else to know that true, real justice will always prevail in the end. Thank you for listening. Feel free to share your thoughts in my email, theoscoffeebreakpodcast@gmail.com. Know that there will always be new episodes out on Monday, except today. This is a surprise. This is the exception to the rule. But also know that you and everyone else is always welcome at my coffee table. Take care, friend, and I will see you in the next episode.